We are live. Page number? 55. So before we start, shall I ask you some questions? If you remember, let us see. The Fantasy Eaters is a book by? The Fantasy Eaters. Subramani. Indo-Fijian writer, Subramani. That's the The Fantasy Eaters is by Subramani. Okay. Do you know who wrote A Flight of Pigeons? That's right, Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond. In the progressive revision attended now. Very good. Who wrote Men and Rivers? Humayun Kabir. Very good. A House at Adhampur. Anand Lal. Very good. Then Wound of Spring. Menon Marat. The Boyfriends. Juliet Banerjee. അതുപോലെ there was a Margaret Chatterjee. Remember? The Boyfriend is by Juliet Banerjee. Vermilion Boat. എന്തൊരു ബംഗാളി ബസു വെർമിലിയൻ ബോട്ട് എന്ത് ബസ് വരുന്നു സത്യജിത് ബസു അങ്ങനെ സത്യേന്ദ്ര ഐ ഡോണ്ട് റിമെമ്പർ സുധീന്ദ്ര ബോസ് ഘോഷ് സുധീന്ദ്ര ഘോഷ് correct Sudhindra Ghose wrote The Vermilion Boat. Very good. Do you remember who wrote Sunrise in Fiji? Sunrise in Fiji. Chaman Nahal. ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ് Chaman Nahal. Sunrise in Fiji, the English Queens into Another Dawn. Chaman Nahal's Gandhi Quartet and the kya? What are the plays in Gandhi Quartet? Don't wash it, okay? Just close it. Just take your spoon and close it. That's all. Azadi, The Crown and the Loincloth, The Salt of Life, The Triumph of the Tricolor. Azadi, The Crown and the Loincloth, The Salt of Life, The Triumph of the Tricolor. Do you remember who wrote Face to Face, an autobiography? Ved Mehta. Ved Mehta. Do you remember who wrote Dungaji House? Dungaji House. Cyrus Mystery. Dungaji House and Chronicle of a Corpse Bearer. What did Gurucharan Das write? Larins Sahib and Nayan Jakko Hill. Meera. Nayan Jakko Hill and Meera. Rose and Sonali are characters in Rich Like Us, is correct? Rose and Sonali. Who wrote The Golden Honeycomb, The Nowhere Man, Coffer Dams? Yes? Kamala Markandeya. What is her real name? Kamala Purnaya Taylor. Kamala Purnaya Taylor. What is the work that she wrote? Autobiographical work. Prison and Chocolate Cake. Which work won Sahitya Academy Award? Ruth Praval Jabwalas. Ruth Pravar Jhabala's Heat and Dust, 1975. Okay, now we'll go on to talk about Shashi Deshpande. Don't wash. You see, we are moving into the second generation Indian novelists. The first generation novelists focused on various problems like poverty, class discrimination, social dogmas. The second generation Indian novelists experimented with the language and fused Indian spirit in the foreign language. Most of them are global Indians. The second generation, they travel abroad, teach abroad, etc. Among them, Shashi Deshpande is an early writer, 1938 born. Shashi Deshpande was born in Karnataka and educated at Bombay and Bangalore. She was the daughter of the famous Kannada dramatist and writer Sri Ranga. Sri Ranga's daughter. He won the Sahitya Academy Award. She won the Sahitya Academy Award for the novel That Long Silence, 1970. 1990 in the 1990. And here she deals with the situation of women. In all her novels, she deals with the situation of women in middle class society. The first novel that she wrote is Dark Holds No Terrors. The Dark Holds No Terrors. That is her first novel. As you might know, all her novels are about women suffering from bad marriages, mental trauma, and sometimes, most of the time, coming out successful and powerful. The Dark Holds No Terrors. If I die today, come up and be dead. Roots and Shadows. That Long Silence. All the titles, it is good, you know. They have never asked chronology of Shashi Deshpande's works alone, but they might ask. So what you should do is remember, okay, these are the early works. It is impossible to memorize everything. You don't have to. The Dark Holds No Terrors. If I die today, dark die dead. Okay. Dark die dead, early works. Then comes Roots and Shadows. That's one of her early works. After that, she won Sahitya Academy Award. Just before she won Sahitya Academy Award, the roots was already laid in the earlier work. Okay. First roots came, then award came. That Long Silence. Now, cleverly, we have studied 5. Dark, die, and dead. It's dark, you're going to die, and then you're dead. Okay? Dark Holds No Terrors. If I die today, come up and be dead. Okay? Then roots are laid. And after that, award came. That Long Silence is award. 1989 book, 1990 award. Got it? It was only a matter of time that she got the award. She got the award. It was only a matter of time that she got the award. She was such a great writer. This award was only a small remedy for her. She should have been given other things. You know, she took so much trouble to write. This award is a small remedy. Not enough. Not enough. So will you remember that also? First roots are laid. Then award came with That Long Silence. It was only a matter of time that she got the award. It's only a small remedy because she was already struggling so much to write. Got it? Then The Binding Vine, moving on. Continue your story. WINE. It was a small remedy, and when she got the award, she had some wine and she moved on. Okay. She had some wine and moved on. So, first is Dark Holds No Terrors. Dark, you die. If I die today, and then dead die. Come up and be dead. പിന്നെ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ റൂട്ട്സ് ഒക്കെ ലേ ചെയ്തു, റൂട്ട്സ് ആൻഡ് ഷാഡോസ്. ദെൻ award duty, that long silence. It was only a matter of time that she got the award. It was a small remedies for her, because she actually struggled a lot to write. Then she had some wine, binding wine, and she moving on. Got it? Okay, in the country of deceit and shadow play. Move on ചെയ്ത് ചെന്ന് പെട്ടത് എവിടെയാ? Where did she reach? She reached one country of deceit, where original things are not there, everything is shadow play. Deceit alle, but shadow play. Okay? The Dark Holds No Terrors, 1980. Very important to remember when a writer started writing, 1980. Dark Holds No Terrors. Sarita is a successful lady doctor. In her married life, she is a trapped animal in the hands of her husband, Manohar. In her married life, she is a trapped animal in the hands of her husband, Manohar. Manohar is an English teacher and a sadist. Pavan Sarita. She's a doctor. Successful. പക്ഷെ എന്താ family life ഇങ്ങനെയായി. Now, you should understand that Sarita had not come home for many years. Now she is returning home after 17 years to her father's house. 17 വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് ശേഷം വരികയാണ്. She had once proclaimed that she will never come back. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാ? She had once proclaimed that she'll never come back because she had a strained relationship with her mother, who is now dead. Her mother never loved her enough. She always preferred Sarita's brother. And that guy died. That boy died. And the mother even held Sarita responsible for the death. So Sarita is very upset. She is ignored by her parents in favor of her brother Dhruva. A turning point in her life was the accidental death of Dhruva by drowning, for which her mother always blamed her. She was there. She is the elder one. The rest of the novel is about Saru's memories and a brief confession to her father about her trauma. Her father did not even know clearly what is wrong. And her stay in her father's house gives Saru a chance to review her relationship with her father, husband, and also her dead mother. At the end, she does not leave her husband. She does not disrupt her life, but she has a better hold over her life. She has a better understanding of herself as well as others. That is how it ends. Got it? The dark holds no terrors. Now, Roots and Shadows. Roots and Shadows is her first full-length novel. Dark Holds No Terrors novel alla. It's not a big novel. The first full-length novel is Roots and Shadows. Indu returns to her ancestral home after 11 years. Like Saru. The first 3-4 novels have the same structure. Woman, unhappy, not happy with family, parents' family, not happy with husband, not going home. Then she changed. So Indu is returning to her ancestral home after 17 years to Akka. Her mother is not there. Her mother has died. Her father had moved on and left her in the care of Akka in her childhood. Akka is Indu's aunt. Okay? Now, Indu and Akka never got along well together. Indu was not completely understood by Akka, and Indu did not understand Akka either. Indu is now returning home after 11 years. She had left home at the age of 18 to marry the man she loves. When she was 18, she had left home by her own will, and then she discovers that it was a mistake. Akka is now dying, and when Indu comes home, she is shocked to know that she thought Akka doesn't love her, like her. But Akka has made Indu the sole heir to the property. Because Akka knows that Indu will be able to distribute the money and the property properly among the family members. She is responsible and trustworthy. Akka knows. Indu is shocked by this. She does take care of her family. Mini is getting married to a man whom Indu does not approve. He is not educated enough and not good enough. But Mini is happy with him. Mini says, I don't want anybody else. This is enough. Indu doesn't understand because Indu is higher in thinking than Mini. But anyway, Indu gets that marriage done. There are many Atyas and uncles and aunts. And Indu is dealing with them. They are all very conservative. One of her cousins is there. Indu starts an affair with him. Indu's husband is Jayant. And cousin's name is Naren, I think. Is it Naren? I forgot. Naren, I think. But that guy, he was a freak and a bohemian sort of person who understood Indu, but he dies of some disease. Indu, meanwhile, has been writing for a magazine. And she is a little frustrated about that also. She wants to become a writer. But at the end, like it happened with Sarita, Indu reconciles with her realities. She has learned a lot of lessons and she decides to go back to Jayant. But she's not the same submissive woman that she had been. Now she is going to deal with her life, confidently. That is the story of Roots and Shadows. Got it? Saru, the doctor, is in. The dark holds no terrors. After dark holds no terrors, she wrote, if I die today, then come up and be dead. Then Roots and Shadows, then that long silence. That long silence year, 89. Got Sahitya Academy Award in 1990. After that long silence, she had some wine and moved on. Remember? Binding wine and moving on. Move on to the country of deceit and shadow play. Do you remember who wrote Shadow Dance, Several Perceptions and Love? Angela Carter. It is Bristol trilogy. Shadow Dance, Several Perceptions and Love by Angela Carter. Angela Carter pinne endokke ezhudiye? Magic Toy Shop, Nights at the Circus. Okay. So, Indu is a character in Roots and Shadows. Indu എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മൂണല്ലേ? മൂൺ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഷാഡോ കാസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും ഓർത്തോ. All right, everyone. Roots and Shadows is 1983. 1989 എന്താ എഴുതിയേ? That long silence. The title of the novel implies that women do not raise their voice against suppression. That long silence in the ആവശ്യമുണ്ടോ ശരിക്കും? You should raise your voice against suppression. This is what Shashi Deshpande is thinking. The central character is Jaya. At the end, when you stop being silent, you become Jaya. Okay? Jacob. Jaya was so named by her father because that name meant victory. But victory never came to her life. Jaya is also a failed writer. And she's haunted by memories of the past. Jaya is a failed writer, haunted by memories of the past. Differences with her husband and there are differences with her husband, frustrations in their 17-year-old marriage. She is disappointed with her 2 teenage children. Her husband, Jayada husband in the pere, Ormenda, Ario. I don't know. Mohan. Jay Mohan. Mohan and there is scam. Mohan has got in a scam. Has got caught in a scam. Angane, they have left their house and they are living in a small Bombay flat. Where Jaya is alone. She is feeling very lonely there. And she is disappointed with her 2 teenage children. Companionship. And there are frustrations in their 17-year-old marriage, disappointment with teenage children. And she is also remembering and suffering from the memories of claustrophobia of her childhood. Childhood ഭയങ്കര സഫക്കേഷൻ ആയിരുന്നു, ഫ്രീഡം ഇല്ലാത്ത പോലെ. എല്ലാം കൂടി കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഇപ്പൊ അവൾക്ക് ഡിപ്രഷനാണ്. In a small suburban Bombay flat, Jaya grapples with all these memories and truths. And she is also angry with herself for failing in writing. And she is afraid of anger also. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു frustrated woman ആണ് Jaya. She tries to erase a long silence begun in childhood. Avasanam, she begins to write. And she is determined to come out of her vicious realities of life. Ee moonum bayangara boradiya kadam, like repetitions of the same novel. Bhagyathinu avade ettipezhekkum 2000 ayapezhekkum she realized it and she started 20 years eduthu realize cheyan. Dark Holes, No Terrors is 1980. Kanda. Why am I saying this? Because it took 20 years for her to realize. Then easily you will remember Dark Holes, No Terrors is 80. And Small Remedies is different. Not the same story. It's a biography within a biography. There is the protagonist, Madhu Saptarshi. Madhu Saptarshi. She is an urban, middle-aged, educated woman. She has an aunt, Leela. Leela works for Bombay laborers. Avarude oru nedavanu Leela. Older woman. And she is a leader for working class people in Bombay. Adavade koduthitilla njan. Madhu Saptarshi has been commissioned by a publisher to write a biography of Savitri Bai Indorkar. Savitri Bai Indorkar is a singer, famous singer of that time. She is the doyen of Gwalior Gharana. And Madhu is going to meet Savitri Bai. When she meets Savitri Bai, she realizes that she is not the ideal, feminine, great woman that everybody thinks she is. She is a rebel. Savitri Bai Indorkar is a rebel. She had been a victim of gender discrimination and she rejected the conventions of her times. She was a feminist who lived her life in her own terms. She married her Muslim Pakkamelakaran, accompanist, and she gave up everything, her family and parents and everything for love. So Madhu Saptarshi is inspired. So we have 3 women here, like a triangle. 3 strong women, all inspiring one another. Small Remedies. You നേരത്തെ ഞാൻ പറയുമ്പോൾ matter of time and small remedies പറഞ്ഞില്ല. Okay. The Binding Vine is a woman-centered story. പക്ഷേ നേരത്തെ 3 women she discovered. അതേ pattern ആണ് ഇവിടെയും follow ചെയ്യുന്നത്. 3 women. A Binding Vine is a story of Urmi or Urmila. She has lost a child and she is in her husband's house now. Educated woman. Her sister-in-law is Vana. That is not the second woman. Vana is a traditional woman compared to Urmi. In her husband's house, Urmi finds the poems and diaries of her husband's stepmother. Her husband's father had married a second wife, a younger wife, and through her name was Meera. Through Meera's diaries and poems, Urmi discovers that Meera was a victim of domestic rape, and she was a very brilliant and lovely woman who was highly oppressed. And she had given vent to her feelings and trauma in her poetry. Urmi is, being a feminist, she is so much inspired by these poems and diaries, and she wants to publish them. But obviously, that will destroy the family. So she is in a journey or a metaphorical quest to get this published. Meanwhile, there is a maid, Shakuntala. Shakutai's sister's husband raped Shakutai's daughter. That is, uncle raped niece. And she is in coma and very serious condition. Kalpana, her name is. That is the third woman. Shakutai and Kalpana, that's the third. Urmi wants Kalpana and Shakutai to complain against this. But Shakutai doesn't want to complain because her sister will be stranded. So she is in a dilemma. That is the story. Okay? It is, by now she had developed her style, and there are loose ends and everything is not so tied up peacefully at the end. Technique is now becoming more complex. All right? Dark horse, no terrors here. 1980. Never memorize just like that, simply again repeating. You will surely forget. You should always make some logical, intelligent connection. Then you will remember. Okay, it can be a story that you make out of it. That story itself can be illogical, but that story gives you a base. Otherwise, like I said, 20 years later, she changed her style. Like that's something you should think. Okay, Binding Wine is 2002. 2000 and 2002. So, I'm sure she has written more. I don't know if I've given all the works here. Please look up for yourselves and write extra notes, etc. Because one question can come from Shashi Deshpande. So, Shashi Deshpande wrote Moving On. I'm also moving on. Sorry, I forgot to move the slide. Here I have V as Naipaul. Shall we do V as Naipaul also? 32. Maybe he'll come. Wait. It's there. But he is there in British literature, right? Somewhere else. I don't know. Poetry. He never wrote poetry. Post-colonial in Caribbean. Anyway, I'll teach. I'm not teaching post-colonial, right? So I'll teach this. Will you please take a look at what is it? Please take a look at your encyclopedia. Online people. V.S. Naipaul, 1932. Please be quiet. V.S. Naipaul, 1932 to 2018. Vidyadhar Suraj Prasad Naipaul. Did you know that his nephew was also a writer? Is also a writer, Shiva Naipaul. Shiva Naipaul. He is also important for us. Shiva Naipaul is the author of Fireflies. That is his very famous work. The Chip Gatherers. Chip Gatherers. CHIP. North of South. Who wrote the novel North and South? Gaskell. Who wrote the poetry collection North and South? Elizabeth Bishop. Who wrote North of South? Shiva Naipaul. Fireflies is his first major work. V.S. Naipaul was born in 1932 in Trinidad and Tobago. That was a colony, British colony. He was born to second generation Indian immigrants. His parents were directly from India. He was educated at Port of Spain, which is a place in the Caribbean, in Trinidad. He worked as a BBC presenter of Caribbean Voices. Caribbean Voices is a BBC program where he included many Caribbean writers who thus got a break in their career. He encouraged Caribbean writers like that. Most of his novels are dealing with the issue of an individual in the society, the individual unable to adjust in the society. All his novels are satires on the post-colonial societies. Things are wrong in the post-colonial societies. There is corruption. There is chaos. That is what he shows always in all his novels. He got Nobel Prize in 2001. And long before that, 30 years before that, he got Booker Prize in 1971. Booker Prize was for In a Free State. In a Free State. Now, Mystic Masseur, The Suffrage of Elvira, Miguel Street. Remember, he wrote Mystic Masseur in 1957. That is the year of publication of Anatomy of Criticism. Then Northrop, Noam Chomsky's Syntactic Structures. 57 is a year in which many books were published. Mystic Masseur also. Suffrage, first massaging. Masseur means one who massages. Then election, suffrage. Miguel Street, you have to make some code. They might ask. Miguel Street. And then in 1961, The House for Mr. Biswas. Mr. Stone and the Knight's Companion is not a very important work. The Mimic Men, 67. They will ask, okay? Mimic Men. A Flag on the Island is also 67. In a Free State, you should know 71. Somehow we have to memorize. Massage, then election, then street. Mist. Mist. Suffer. Mr. Suffer Street. Mystic Masseur, Suffrage of Elvira, and Street. രസമില്ലല്ലേ? എന്ത് ചെയ്യണമെന്നറിയോ? ഇതുപോലെ മിസ്റ്റ് സഫർ സ്ട്രീറ്റ് എന്നൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് ചാറ്റ് ജിപിടിയോട് പറയണം, മേക്ക് എ സെന്റൻസ് വിത്ത് ദിസ് ഫോർ മീ ടു യൂസ് ആസ് നെമോണിക് കോഡ് എന്ന്. അപ്പൊ അതൊരു കഥ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടാക്കി തരും. ബസവ അങ്ങനെ കുറെ ഉണ്ടാക്കി വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ അത് ഞാൻ നോക്കി ചെയ്യാൻ സമയം കിട്ടിയില്ല. Then you will be able to remember. Mimic men. ഇതിന്റെ കഥ പറഞ്ഞുതരാം, അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും. Then Guerrillas is a post-colonial Gothic novel. A Bend in the River, 1979. Who wrote Bend in the Ganges? Manohar Malgaonkar. The Enigma of Arrival, at least അതൊക്കെ later ആണെന്ന് ഓർക്കുക. Enigma of Arrival, Bend in the River ഒക്കെ later novels ആണ്. Half a Life and Magic Seeds are companion novels. Half a Life and Magic Seeds are companion novels. Now we have non-fiction also by Naipaul. The Middle Passage. Impressions of Five. അങ്ങനെ between the continents ഉള്ള ട്രാവലിനെയാണ് ഈ പാസേജ് എന്ന് വിളിച്ചിരുന്നത്. Rites of Passage. Then an Area of Darkness. ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞ പരീക്ഷയ്ക്ക് ചോദിച്ചതാ. This is a PYQ. Area of Darkness, India Wounded Civilization and India Million Mutinies Now. In what order ആണ് trilogy എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചു. Area of Dark, അത് easy. Area of Darkness, India a Wounded Civilization, India a Million Mutinies Now. അങ്ങനത്തെ ചോദ്യമൊക്കെ ഒന്നും പഠിക്കാത്തവർക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഇടുന്ന ചോദ്യം, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടിയല്ല. An Area of Darkness, India a Wounded Civilization, India a Million Mutinies Now. കേട്ടോ? He also wrote Beyond Belief. The Writer and the World is an important essay collection. The Writer and the World. He also wrote Grief. A writer reckons with loss. കഥ പറയാം. മിസ്റ്റിക് മാസ്യൂർ 1957 ആണ്. ഭയങ്കര തമാശ. All his novels are hilarious novels. ഭയങ്കര satire. Set in colonial Trinidad. Ganesh Ramsumer is a school teacher. I will just tell you the story. അത് കേൾക്കുകയായിരിക്കും നല്ലത്. Ganesh Ramsumer is a school teacher and he hates his job. He remembers that his mother has told him that when he was a younger boy, he had twisted somebody's ankle or something and solved the sprain. എന്തോ ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ അറിയാതെ ആരുടെ കാലിന്റെ സ്പ്രെയിൻ എന്തോ മാറി. Somehow he solved it. So he decides, okay, that is my calling. So he decides to become a masseur. അതിനിടയിൽ he also wants to become a writer. അതിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് he has bought lots of books. ഒന്നും വായിച്ചിട്ടൊന്നുമില്ല, വെറുതെ ഇരിക്കുക. അത് വായിച്ചിട്ട് വേണം ഇനി എഴുതാൻ. So at that time, he's very ambitious, like any post-colonial subject is, you and me are. അപ്പൊ ആ സമയത്ത് there is a little young girl, 16-year-old girl called Leela. Leela's father is the shopkeeper, a shop owner who owns all the shops in that locality. Ram Logan. So Ganesh is very ambitious and Ram Logan likes him and Ganesh likes Leela. Finally, they decide to get married. This marriage is fixed. And what is your aim in life? What are you going to be? Ganesh has told them that I want to be I'm a writer. Leela is like, wow, he's a writer. Immediately she agrees to the marriage. എന്തോ ഒരു പ്രശ്നമുണ്ട് ലീലയ്ക്ക്. If I remember right, she is very obsessed with spelling. അങ്ങനെ എന്തോ ഉണ്ട്. Because she went to school, she is obsessed with spelling. അങ്ങനെ എന്തോ ഉണ്ട്. ലീല സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് മിസ്റ്റിക് മെസ്സേജ് എന്നിട്ടാ കിട്ടും. പങ്ക്ച്വേഷൻ മാർക്കാണ് അത് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ്. അവിടെ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ? She is excessive for not spelling, punctuation marks. സ്കൂളിൽ പോയതിന്റെ ഗുണ. She has gone to school, that's why, because everybody didn't go to school. എന്നിട്ട് Leela is waiting for him to write his book, but every day he is looking at his books and doing nothing, and Leela is disappointed. ലീലയ്ക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി ഇത് ശരിയാവില്ല എന്ന്. അപ്പൊ എന്തായാലും he sat down and wrote his book finally. അതിന്റെ പേരാണ് 101 അതോ 1001 101 questions and answers on Hinduism. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ബുക്ക് എഴുതി. No, not even a dog wants it. ഒരു പട്ടിക്കും വേണ്ട. Nobody buys the book. All the copies are there in his house. Leela goes back to Ram Logan. She is frustrated. ഇതൊക്കെ കണ്ടിട്ട്. But then he decides to start his masseur profession full time. അത് തന്നെ നല്ലത്. അത് it is a metaphorical way of saying how post-colonial subjects are so corrupt, and whatever gets done in a post-colonial country is by buttering and chamcha work. അതാണ് അതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം. So he is very good at his massaging because there are no clinics in that locality. He's good at massaging. പക്ഷെ ഒരു വലിയ പ്രശ്നമുണ്ട്. എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയാം, one problem is there. He had wanted dowry, obviously, and Ram Logan very cleverly gave him a house which is in a very remote place far away from the city. മനപ്പുറം ചെയ്ത ഫ്യുവൻതെ ഗ്രോവ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഒരു ഹൗസ്. Deliberately he did it, Ram Logan. This man is living in Fuente Grove or Ganesh, and people can't get there, come there. There are only 4 taxis in that town. People take these taxis and come. Paksha, then they stopped coming. Appadana Ganesh manasilaye, all these taxis are owned by Ram Logan. And when he saw that people are going to Ganesh, he increased the taxi fare. People are not coming. So Ganesh goes and tells Ram Logan that he wants to buy the taxis. And he solves it. People starts coming to Fuente Grove. He solves the problem. Leela is happy because he has money, but still he is not a hot selling writer. But he is very good at massaging. He is massaging his way to success. He makes money. He becomes politically involved. You know how? There is one politician there called C.S. Narayan. C.S. Narayan has enemies. These enemies come to Ganesh. By then, Ganesh had started a newspaper. And they publish defaming articles against C.S. Narayan and expose him. So, Ganesh finally replaces C.S. Narayan as the politician. Now he is rich and powerful. At that time, you won't believe it. His book starts selling like hotcakes. Same book. Earlier, nobody wanted. Now it is selling like hotcakes. So what did he do? He wrote one more book. And Years of Guilt. He has become corrupt. Years of Guilt. That is the name of his book. And that also became an instant bestseller. This is the story of Mystic Masseur. And then what is the meaning of the story? In post-colonial countries, it is not based on merit or hard work that anything happens. Hard work, we are an aberration. Usually, people will pass exams or become powerful or get jobs by many other who can cook. Okay, so that is Mystic Masseur. All good? Now, I have to tell you lots of stories. That doesn't mean you can sleep, okay? Are you sleepy? Online people might be sleepy. Online people from previous batch, I thought I will start a rule that everybody has to keep their videos on. Online people, are you there? Are you sleeping? Tell me in the chat box. I have opened.
Not sleeping.
Not sleeping?
No. No, ma'am.
Okay, good. How is your health now?
Yeah, it's
I'm good,
better.
ma'am.
So lovely to hear your voices. Okay, shall we talk about Miguel Street? Miguel Street, also 1957. അതിന് Somerset Maugham Award കിട്ടി. Miguel Street is a collection of linked short stories set in wartime Trinidad and Tobago. The stories draw on the author's childhood memories of Port of Spain. As മൈമിനോട് ശബ്ദം കേൾക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഇത് കൂട്ടിയതാ. The stories draw on the author's childhood memories of Port of Spain. And it refers to cricket, quotes a number of lyrics by black calypso writers. Calypso is അവിടുത്തെ ഒരു സ്റ്റൈലാ, Jamaican and Trinidadian. Calypso. Each of the stories focuses on a single character living in Miguel Street in Port of Spain. In one story, he will be the central character. In another story, he will be a minor character. അങ്ങനെ. In a similar vein to James Joyce's Dubliners, some of Naipaul's protagonists appear to be affected by a kind of paralysis, as if they can't do anything. ഒരു തരം paralysis, an existential crisis. That is there in Miguel Street, in the stories. Mr. Popo the carpenter, who never finishes making anything, and the poet B. Wordsworth, who is working on the greatest poem ever written, but has never written past the first line. Each chapter is dominated by a single character who searches for identity. എല്ലാം analogous to the post-colonial condition. At the end of the book, the narrator escapes from Miguel Street. Got it, everyone? Humphrey Bogart in the പേരില് Bogart എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഒരാളുണ്ട്. Now, the Suffrage of Elvira. It's a comic novel set in Trinidad and Tobago again. Describes the slapstick circumstances surrounding a local election. Surajpat Harbans, that is the protagonist. Surajpat Harbans is driving an old truck, rickety truck, up the Elvira Hill. അങ്ങനെ അയാൾ ഓടിച്ചു പോകുമ്പോൾ when he drives his rickety truck up the Elvira Hill, അന്ന് election ആണ്, that day is election. He is contesting in the election. And as he goes like this, two things happen. One, he hits a dog. ആ ഡോഗ് ഓടിച്ചെന്ന് ലൈക്ക് എ ബട്ടർഫ്ലൈ ഇഫക്റ്റ്, അത് ചെന്ന് ഓരോന്ന് ചെയ്ത് അവസാനം അത് ഇലക്ഷൻ വരെ എത്തും. The second, it interconnects, it connects and finally it leads to his accidentally, in a very stupid manner, winning the election. The second thing that happens also, ഇതേപോലെ connected ആണ് ഇതിനകത്ത്. Two women who are Jehovah's Witnesses, they are mindlessly riding their bicycle in the middle of the road. ഇത് സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ഒന്നും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ട്രക്ക്, അത് ഇങ്ങനെ ചെന്ന് അവരെ ചെന്നിടിക്കും. He comes and hits them. Both these incidents, the dog is hit, the women are hit. These lead to a lot of comic consequences, which ultimately leads to his winning the election. That is the story of the Suffrage of Elvira. You see that the entire society is ignorant. They are corrupt, they are irrational. And it is a microcosm of post-colonial world. മനസ്സിലായോ? Now, A House for Mr. Biswas, 1961. Again, comic novel. It has a prologue and an epilogue, and it is regarded as Naipaul's masterpiece. Naipaul's ഏറ്റവും വലിയ നല്ല നോവലാണ് A House for Mr. Biswas. It presents the post-colonial concerns regarding an immigrant's quest for identity and independence within an alien culture. Within an alien culture, a post-colonial subject searching for identity. That's the main thing. What happens in a house for Mr. Biswas? Mohan Biswas is born to his parents. He is born with 6 fingers or toes, one of those. And there is a prophecy that his birth is inauspicious for his father and that he should not go near the water. ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് സംഭവങ്ങൾ. So throughout his childhood, behind their house is the river. Throughout his childhood, he is protected from the river. One day, he is missing. Kanalya. They search everywhere. Don't find him. Immediately, the father jumps into the powerful river. He jumps into the river. And the father drowns. He comes, wakes up and comes. I love. It was bad for his father. And this guy grows up. I read this novel during a train journey. Full time chiri vannittu hilarious writing. I kuduguda chirichondirunnu book. And ഇപ്പോഴും എനിക്ക് ഓർമ്മയില്ല അതിൻ്റെ റൈറ്റിംഗ്. Then he grows up. വലിയ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസമൊന്നുമില്ല. He doesn't have education or anything. And he becomes a painter of science. ഇങ്ങനെ ബോർഡൊക്കെ വരയ്ക്കുകയൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുന്ന ആള്. So he stands on top of the scaffold and paints. അപ്പോഴാണ് താഴെ കൂടി one girl, quiet, shy girl walks up and down. എന്നും പോണാണ്. One day, he decides to give her a love letter. And that is Shama. Shama and Dajida, what did Shama do? Immediately she went and gave it to her mother. Amma and Dajida, what did the mother do? Do you want to marry Shama? Get married. Kalyanam nadannu. He was not ready to marry or anything. Verude oru love letter koduthu. And he's now married to a girl from a very rich family. Shama. And then what happened is, Shama's mother, Mrs. Tulsi, they are the Tulsi family. Mrs. Tulsi has many children. She somehow wants to get them married off to somebody or the other. Caste matra nokolu. And what she wants is unpaid laborers. Avarku kore estate and കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്. They have factories, estates and all. So all the in-laws, sons-in-laws will become unpaid laborers. Daughters-in-law ayalum. Adana Mrs. Tulsida. This man is feeling so lonely among all the sons-in-laws in Hanuman house. Hanuman house is naracha sons-in-law. And he is feeling very lonely. Ellarum older and already established. His greatest desire is to have a house of himself, for himself. സ്വന്തമായിട്ടൊരു വീട് വേണം. എവിടുന്ന് വീട് കിട്ടാനാ? കാരണം back-breaking work he has to do, but they won't pay him because he is the son-in-law. So he has no money. And he is working. The rest of the novel is about his quest for a house. He works in different places. Somehow he procures a typewriter. Somehow he tries to escape from this drudgery. അതിനിടയിൽ 2-3 കുട്ടികളൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായി. ആനന്ദും സാവിയും പിന്നെ 2 കൊച്ചുങ്ങളും ഉണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ he has never even seen Shama properly. അധികം സമയമൊന്നും they have not spent together. അയാൾക്ക് ജീവിതമില്ല. He is all the time working for Tulsi family and he is pursuing his house dream. എന്നിട്ട് അവസാനം കയ്യിൽ എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയോ പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കി he buys a very bad house which gets destroyed in the storm. അതപ്പോഴേ പോയി കിട്ടി. പൈസയും പോയി. അവസാനം കഥയെല്ലാം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ at the end of the novel, he has somehow made money to buy a badly built, poor, bad house. അത് വാങ്ങിച്ച് happy ആയിട്ട് മരിക്കും. Because he finally gets a house എന്നാണ് വിചാരിക്കുന്നത്. This is how post-colonial subjects try to make their own identity and career ഒക്കെ. നമ്മളെല്ലാം ഇതുപോലെയാ. എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലും എനിക്ക് ആ ജോലി കിട്ടണം എന്നും പറഞ്ഞ് ജീവിതം മുഴുവൻ കളയും. അവസാനം, does the society or the government want to help you? Do they want you to get a job and live, decently? Annilla. Everywhere their aim is to eliminate you. അതിനിടെ കൂടെ അബദ്ധത്തിൽ വല്ലതും കിട്ടിയാലായി. അങ്ങനെയാണ് പോസ്റ്റ് കൊളോണിയലിസം. വെരി ഡിപ്രസിംഗ്, isn't it? So look at the analysis on page 59. Mr. Biswas' son Anand has been considered the implied narrator. Mr. Biswas എന്നാണ് വിളിക്കുന്നത്. Implied narrator ആണ്. The desire to own a house symbolizes. The desire to own a house symbolizes Mr. Biswas' desire to own a stable personal identity. The Hanuman house represents the feudal society and an oppressive social life from which Mr. Biswas must escape in order to assert his identity. So we are all post-colonial subjects like this who are struggling in order to make our identity and somehow get some meaning in our life. Did you understand? It's very pessimistic and depressing, but to some extent, that is the reality. Right, everyone? Okay, this novel has echoes of Shakespeare's King Lear. Man's rootlessness as the central theme. In King Lear also, King Lear is wandering about, not able to, find his meaning and purpose in life. Similarly, Mohan Biswas is also wandering about. Did you understand? The central storm scene, his house gets destroyed in the storm. Do you remember? Very good. So, it is in ultimate nothingness that life ends. That is the meaning here. Okay. Are you tired? We have a little more. Shall I ask you some questions? Where do you have Suraj Patharban's? The Suffrage of Elvira. Very good. Who is the protagonist in Mystic Masseur? Mystic Masseur is Ganesh Ramsumer. Ganesh Ramsumer. Very good. Where do you have Indu? The dark holds no terror. That is Saru. That is Saru. It is roots and shadows. So what was our code for Shashi Deshpande? Dark, die, dead. Then roots, then award. Matter of time. Then, sorry, small remedies. Finding wine and moving on. Country of deceit and shadow play. Do you like our 1-minute codes? Isn't it amazing? I loved it. It is so good. Tell me the code for Muriel Spark. Did you attend 6 to 8 class? Muriel Spark. Nobody knows? If you attend live only, you will get it. That well, you will get it. It's okay. I will tell you. Muriel Spark had anorexia nervosa or bulimia. So the comforters first. Then for comfort, where did she go? Robinson Island. In that island, what is the problem? Volcanic island it is. So she remembers she will die. So what is that novel? Memento Mori. When she is scared that she will die, she is singing a ballad of Peckham Rye. Who teaches her the ballad? Miss Jean Brodie. the prime of Miss Jean Brodie. She was a school teacher. In that school, who is also there? Girls of slender means. Very good. And the girls of slender means are sunbathing on the nude, on the roof, and a bomb goes off, isn't it? So where do they run to? Mandelbaum Gate. At the Mandelbaum Gate, who is there? Actress, public image. Actress is there, public image. What is she doing? She's getting into her car comes. So she's getting into the driver's seat and take over and driving away. We are mixing the titles and the stories. Right. So what are you doing now? Loitering with intent. In loitering with intent, a woman is trying to find out the secret of her employer. Her novel reflects the evil plans of her employer. So loitering with intent, and the evil employer is Far Cry from Kensington. Far Cry from Kensington is the next novel. So you don't want to get into all this trouble. So you leave all that and go for a symposium. At the symposium, there is a television director who is half in coma, drifting between reality and dreams. You are wondering, what is ma'am doing? Why is she saying all this nonsense? I'm only trying aiding and abetting. I'm only trying aiding and abetting because this is Vellath is a finishing school. You can put all this in your curriculum vitae. Isn't it lovely? We'll revise, okay? Our revision is going to be the best. Our crash course will start and I will start revising from the beginning in a very logical manner and you will have no stress. In all batches, the 1,000 people who pass, they sing songs and go to, that much easy it becomes, seriously. But I need time. Okay, so relax. Shall we do Mimic Men? Mimic Men, 1967. 1967 is Mimic Men. Tell me, when was House for Mr. Biswas? That's right, 1961. Mimic Men is the confessional narrative of Ralph Singh. Ralph Singh is the protagonist. Do you know, I have not taught you this yet, but where do you have Kirpal Singh? Kip. English patient. Where do you have Jagat Singh? Trained to Pakistan. Where do you have Lal Singh? Lalu trilogy. The Village Across the Black Waters and The Sword and the Sickle. Lalu trilogy by Mulk Rajanat. Right. So Ranjit Singh or Ralph Ranjit Singh, that is his full name, okay? Ralph Singh or Ranjit Singh is the former Caribbean politician. He was so corrupt in his island called Isabella. He was so corrupt that he has been exiled from there and he is now living in London. He is living in a flat in London. Okay, now living in London. The novel presents the post-colonial themes of displacement. Obviously, he has been displaced from his island. He has been displaced to London, isn't it? And he is in a flashback telling his story now. He ultimately seems to find order in writing his memoir. Who is the protagonist of Shashi Deshpande who was frustrated because she is not a famous writer? Jaya. In That Long Silence, correct. Now, Ralph Ranjit Singh is a man of Indian heritage, born in the Caribbean island. And the novel is structured as his memoir. Okay? Please read the encyclopedia. Every line you should go through. If you don't remember, it's okay. Continuously familiarize yourself with it. Don't memorize. You will surely remember. And 60 to 70% of questions come only from here. If you're familiar with this, you will easily be able to pass also. Isabella is in which novel? Mimic Men. In which novel do you have Jackson Island? Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn. Isabella is the island in Mimicmen. His memoir begins from when he was a student in an unnamed university in London. He lived in London, befriended a Maltese woman, and through her, he was introduced to many people in London. And he's becoming a social climber. Okay, he is describing all that he had an uncle, and there was much friction between Ralph Singh's father and his uncle. Uncle's name was Cecil. Cecil had little respect for elders, and he attended Isabella Imperial, a school run by British government. He remembers some incidents from his life. I don't think all that is very important, but just for the sake of knowing. He talks about his friend Brown. There is a lot of social divide that he lives through. And like our Balram Halwai, he learns to overcome all this through corruption. Okay, Balram Halwai is in The White Tiger. The White Tiger of Arvind Adiga, yes. Do you know Arvind Adiga's novel based on cricket? Recently on Instagram, I have done a session on sports and literature, where I've talked about some important authors, etc. Please watch it if you can. Right. Selection Day, that is Arvind Adiga's book on cricket. Arvind Adiga wrote White Tiger, which got Booker Prize. Don't you know that? Right. So, in his adult life, Ralph Singh is becoming a politician. He associates with his friend Brown, who runs a socialist paper. And he eventually runs for political elections. And he becomes very corrupt, and politics turns out to be very messy. He finally gets expelled from there. And he travels to London. And he is settling down in London there at the age of 40. He has taken up residence in a suburban place in London, and he's writing his memoir. Okay? Mimic Men is in the form of a memoir. What do you mean by mimic men? Post-colonial subjects who are trying to imitate the colonial masters. It is a novel about personal and cultural identity in mid-20th century British society. The protagonist is a man of Indian descent, first taking on the role of a person in high society, embodying the paradoxes of colonial rule and post-colonial identity. This is a novel with existential elements. Existential elements are there. A Bend in the River, 1967, same as Mimic Men. A Bend in the Ganges is by Manohar Malgaonkar. A Bend in the River is set in an unnamed post-colonial African country. Do you know the opening line of Bend in the River? It is a famous opening line. Yes? The world is what it is. Men who are nothing, who allow themselves to become nothing, have no place in it. That is the opening line of A Bend in the River. Here also we have an ethnically Indian shopkeeper or person as the protagonist. His name is Salim. Salim is an ethnically Indian Muslim shopkeeper in this unnamed city, African country and city. He is threatened for being a non-African in Africa. Even now, in many places in Africa, there is nativism. They like only Africans. The Indians who live there in large numbers in Kenya, etc., are little like second-class citizens. Even though they are rich and powerful, they are not as accepted as the Africans. Even now, it is like that. So in that time, Salim undergoes a lot of upheavals in his life. There is a lot of trauma in his life. Life is like a big journey, and there is a revolution happening in his country, and he overcomes all that finally. So I'm not going into each and every detail of the revolution, which is anyway given in your encyclopedia, because I don't think it is that important. But please remember that his life is like a roller coaster ride. Now, apart from Joseph Conrad, there is one more writer who writes like this, Amitav Ghosh. So many incidents happening in protagonist's life and post-colonial encounters with the past, etc. Okay, just a little more, please bear with me. We have In a Free State, 71 novel, 1971, In a Free State. What is its importance? That's right, it won Booker Prize. It has 3 short stories, okay, and 1 framing narrative. What are the 3 short stories in a Free State? One out of many. Tell me who to kill in a free state. One out of many. This is supposed to be a free state, but look at the corruption and violence here. One out of many. Tell me who to kill. I will kill in this free state, it seems. So bad, isn't it? That is the code. One out of many. Tell me who to kill in a free state. I've gone through this book. There is a lot of, again, roller coaster thing here also. In one of these, in a free state, I think in one of these, one person is undergoing a journey within the city. It's like a car journey. So too many things happening, and everything is metaphorical of the post-colonial condition. Like that it is. Guerrillas came in 1975. Do you remember, dear friends? Heat and Dust, also 1975. Guerrillas, also 1975. Guerrillas is a post-colonial Gothic novel. Intertextual relations are there. What do you mean by post-colonial Gothic? That means it has intertextual relationship with there are post-colonial elements and also Gothic intertextuality with Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. It has intertextual relationship with Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. Okay, so in this novel, Jane and Roch, R-O-C-H, Jane and Roch are coming to an unnamed remote Caribbean island. They are coming to a remote Caribbean island. Jane is a Londoner, Roch is a South African man. And Jimmy Ahmed is the owner of, where are they coming? They're coming to Thrushcross Grange, which is owned by Jimmy Ahmed. Thrushcross Grange is in Wuthering Heights. Jane and Roch are in Jane Eyre. Finally, one local youth murders Jane. That is how it ends. One local youth murders Jane. So here there is a sense of alienation and meaninglessness in relationships, etc. Did you understand? Do you remember the first non-fiction work that I told you? Middle Passage. Middle Passage. Do you know which is the trilogy that he wrote? Trilogy of travelogues? No, trilogy of travelogues. Right, Area of Darkness, India, a Wounded Civilization, and India, a Million Mutinies Now. Isn't it, everyone? An Area of Darkness, India, a Wounded Civilization, and a Million Mutinies Now. Very good. All these 3 novels put India in a negative light. That became controversial. The Enigma of Arrival came after that. It is semi-autobiographical. The story follows a young Trinidadian who is traveling to England, where he settles and lives as a writer. Half a Life and Magic Seeds. It is set in India, Africa, Europe, with the protagonist Willie Somerset Chandran. Willie Somerset Chandran, he is also searching for roots and identity. Identity crisis is there here also. Okay, there is a failed quester in Naipaul always that can be called the Naipaul hero. The Naipaul hero. Okay, everyone? Did you like that? Wonderful. So hi friends on YouTube, I had gone live. accidentally from our Ernakulam class on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this discussion. We are doing Indian literature here, and we are in the second book. We are about to complete this book very soon, and we have already completed, almost going to complete British literature. Now we are going to do American and criticism and other topics, preparing for December exam, everybody is. So thank you for being with us. We'll take a break now.